Hello everyone, my name is Rachael Gang. I am super excited to be here. Single, saved, and soaring. Hello everyone, I am super excited to be here. First, my name is Rachael Gang. I live in Lagos, Nigeria. I am a mom of four. I'm a manufacturer, I'm a digital content creator. I create content centered around family, faith, food, finance. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself as a young woman is becoming a woman of conviction. Listen, the world doesn't need women who are easily persuaded. The world needs women and is looking for women who have already settled certain matters even before temptation arises or the world tests them. So I'll ask you again, what are your greatest convictions in life? I'll tell you a little story because I love telling stories before we go into the full topic. So one of the first conversations my husband and I had when we started our relationship was about our non-negotiables. I remember telling him that until we became husband and wife, there would be no sexual relationship between me and him. And secondly, we would be fasting every Monday, fasting and praying for our children. I've always been intentional, praying for our children, praying for the marriage, praying to love one another, praying to be peaceful because peace is very important to me, praying to be joyful, praying to be successful. And he looked at me and he was surprised, like, fast? Because fasting to him wasn't something he was used to, even though as a Christian. But he agreed because those weren't suggestions, those were convictions. They were my convictions. And I needed to tell him early on. As a young girl, the greatest gift you can give yourself is the gift of conviction. And years later, my husband would confess to me that when I told him we're not going to have any sexual relationship before we got married, he thought I was joking and later I would bend. But those were my convictions. They weren't suggestions and I wasn't trying to prove a point. And that's what I'm saying. The world is not looking for women who are easily persuaded. The world is looking for women who have already taken a stand, who have already settled in certain areas of their lives long before life tests them, long before the temptations come. And listen to me, having conviction will come at a price, but you have to hold your ground. Sometimes people will think you're doing too much. Sometimes people will laugh at you, make you feel bad, make you think that the right you're holding on to is actually wrong because the world is loud. The world doesn't win because the world is more powerful. The world wins because the world is relentless in choking its values and its conviction on you. So you have to be firm, you have to be steady. Conviction will also determine who you finally decide to settle with. Some of you have no conviction. Some of you have not yet gone into deep self-discovery. No wonder the kind of people you allow around you. If you wait until you're in the heat of temptation to set your boundaries, you would have waited too long. You set boundaries long before the temptation come and set in. And I must warn you because if you're a woman of conviction, it's going to come at a price. Some people will call you old-fashioned. Some people will laugh at your standards. Some people will ridicule you into making you feel like you're actually doing too much. That will bring me to a few points that I would like to talk about. Number one is to fall deeply in love with Jesus Christ. Fall in love with him because there is no man that is going to complete you. Jesus is the one who satisfies you. I remember my early stages in marriage. It was very difficult for me because I felt that my husband needed to complete me. I would always tell him, this is the reason why I'm not happy because you do this. This is the reason why this is like this. And I was very depressed. At some point, we needed to go for counseling because I felt everything that I needed to be, my wholeness, was attached to him. I got it all wrong. Jesus is the one that can satisfy you. Some of you are doing church. You go for church activities. Some of you go for conferences. You jump from one church activity to the other. Some of you may even be ministers in your churches. You sing in the choir. Some of you are in the media departments. But is your heart truly in sync with Jesus Christ? You fall completely in love with Jesus. He satisfies you from deep within. And the greatest gift you can give your child, your children, your husband is not your beauty. It is a heart that is completely laid down for Jesus Christ. A man cannot be your identity, my young ladies. No, a man completes you because you're the daughter of a king. You already carry light. When a man brings his own light, he just adds to it, but it's not the entire thing. It's not your entire life. So find purpose. How do you find your purpose in life? By falling in love with Jesus, fellowshipping with him, praying, staying there, hearing from him. When you fall in love with Jesus, you go into deep self-discovery. He tells you who you are. He tells you the things he wants you to achieve as a woman. And then when the man comes, it completes you. And my second point is character comes before chemistry. A man should smell nice. Very good. A man should have good command of English. Excellent. A man should be wealthy. Fantastic. Many young women have long lists of what they want in a man. Look at the list and make sure that the good to have are not replacing the must have. This should never ever be negotiable. Is he surrendered to Jesus with fruits? Is this a man that is genuinely kind? Is this man teachable? Is this man stable and available? Can this man take accountability for his actions? There are some men that never ever take accountability for their actions. They always have to pin it down on someone. Is he a man that is dogged? Is he a man that is willing to work hard? Is he a hard worker? Is he a provider? Does he keep his word? Does he have integrity? Is he responsible? Is he unstable? Some men are always looking at the next beautiful thing. Yes, men are attracted to what they see. But the man you have, is he stable? Can he tame his desires? Is he able to say no? Or anything he sees is going to chase after them, and yet still goes to church, still quotes scriptures, still holds a mic. A man who is completely surrendered to God and consistently kind is a man less likely to become a beast in marriage, because the fear of God is what restrains a man long after the emotions have faded. He smells nice, he's a good communicator, has good command of English, he smiles very well, he can relate with people. These are really good. I'm not saying they're bad, but your list should not only be made up of the good to have and then you completely ignore the must-haves. Then my next point, this should be point number 3, purity is protection. Many women have been lied to compromise on their body, but never ever confuse chemistry for connection. Never ever think that giving your body to a man will make him stay. Your body has never been God's strategy to keeping a man. Sex has never ever produced commitment. Character is what produces commitment. If a man truly loves you, he will protect your purity. He will not pressure you into compromise. Never ever forget that. Any man who loves you will not pressure you into compromise, but he will protect that purity. He will help you hold it. And he's very patient to wait, because love does not pressure. Love can wait. Love will not get tired or weary of waiting. And when that man comes, you will finally understand why it couldn't have worked out with anyone else. And this will be one of my strongest points that I want you to know. As a young girl, know yourself before bringing any man into your life. Who am I? Who is this girl? What do I want? What are my weaknesses? What are my convictions? What is my value? What are the things that bend me? What are my desires? What do I want out of life? What is my purpose in life? Where am I going? And where am I at? What kind of home do I want? What kind of life do I want? Some of you are high achievers, yet you're going to settle down for a man who cannot see themselves beyond the four corners of a particular environment. You will struggle in marriage. What do I want out of life? What kind of life do I want for my children? What kind of business, what kind of woman do I want to be known and remembered for? All of these questions, know who you truly are before you invite somebody else. Because sometimes bringing another person to you before finding out who you are is a major distraction. Spend more time discovering who you are than searching for who he is. And I hope you get that. And please remember that marriage doesn't fix broken people. A lot of you are going on with a relationship that is clearly not good for you. You are trying to fix a man who is emotionally unstable and broken, a man who does not take accountability for anything, a man who has not proven to be responsible by any standard, and yet you still are in the relationship with the man, thinking, once I get married, I'll fix him. You cannot fix anybody. Marriage amplifies. Marriage will mirror down every single thing everybody has been doing in secret. That's why people get married and say their spouses have changed. No, they didn't technically change. They are seeing you for who you truly are, who you've been, because now they're living with you, and so they see you for who you truly are. Because of time, I'm going to end here. Please don't spend your 20s planning, dreaming, and thinking of a wedding. Spend your 20s preparing for a lifetime, preparing for your future. And I would like to challenge every woman here. Become the woman that the kind of man you're praying for is praying for. So you're praying to have such a man. Also become that woman that that man is praying for. God is not just preparing your husband. God is preparing you. Trust his timing. He wants you to be whole. He's preparing you in your purpose. So before I go, I'd like to tell you these three things. Guard your heart. Guard your purity. Grow in wisdom. And walk with Jesus. Never ever forget these four things. And when the right time comes, you would find out that becoming the right person was far more important than finding the right person. Thank you so much for having me. It was such an honor to be here. I trust that you've learned one or two things. Because of time, if you want to see more, you can check out my page on The Intentional Twin Mom and enjoy your single life. Keep soaring as a single girl. Thank you for this honor. If you want to connect with me, you can check out my page on Instagram, Facebook, The Intentional Twin Mom, and The Twin Mom on Facebook, and I'll be so happy to connect with you guys. Take care. Much love always. Stay safe.